Welcome back for another book review. Today we're talking about this one. Why is it the back of a book? Guess what? It's another Interloan library, so I can't show you the front because I have to leave all the papers on the front. But this book. So this is Tending Brigid's Flame, Awaken the Celtic Goddess. Oh wait, it doesn't have the whole title. Never mind, I gotta open actually the book. The Celtic Goddess of Hearth, Temple, and Forge by a name, I think the last name's Weatherstone, but I don't know how to say that first name. But this one. So as the title would suggest, it is all about working with the goddess Brigid. And this book goes over a lot. It goes over everything that you could think of. It talks about her stories a little bit, talks about connected deities a little bit, it talks about plants, it talks about rocks, it talks about like modern ways people work with this goddess, it talks about how she was a goddess, became a saint, back to goddess, and also still saint, and kind of bridges that gap, which works with her name. Get it? Brigid? Bridge? Yeah. And also talks about some things to do, how to have her like bless your house, and how to tend her flame. There's just like everything in this book. I give this one a 5 out of 5. I think this is one of those books that we need more of in the pagan world, because it actually, I wrote down a thing because I swear I'm probably going to end up using it as like a quote in one of my own books at some point, because it's like exactly. So it's from like the very beginning, and it says, modern devotion to Brigid is a combination of tradition and revision, and that's as it should be. Though perhaps it's more accurate to say add vision rather than revision. I encourage you, and Brigid encourages you, to add your own lore to the store of knowledge about this goddess who encompasses so much. New aspects of the divine will always be revealed, and I feel like that was 1000% not the word. Don't you hate when it autocorrects? Because it's like, and fairy will always evolve to stay alive and relevant, and I'm like 1000% sure that is not what I wrote down. Thanks for that though. By the way, that was not the right word. New aspects of the divine will always be revealed, and faith will always evolve to stay alive and relevant. But sure, fairy would also work, I suppose, because the Morrigan is associated to fairies and is, in one of her many aspects, labeled a fairy queen. And so it's like, you know what? Sure. The fairies are just here. So actually, kind of on that note, reading through this book, I wanted to have more of this style of writing. I wanted to read a book like this about my goddess, the one I work with, the Morrigan, who even in this book still gets lumped into this itty bitty little box of just dark war energy. That is like just one aspect. That's like saying Brigid is just a saint. That's all she is. That's it. Everything, saint. Because of course, saints would have candles. Duh. It just falls under her sainthood. Like, it's the same thing with the Morrigan. So many aspects to her. So broad. I want a book like this on the Morrigan in all of her aspects, not just war. And reading through it, that was like the main thing I kept coming back to. Is that the point of this book? No. But like, even then, as I was reading through it, I'm like, God, wouldn't this be so cool to have something like this for like some of the Norse deities? Like a book like this on hell? Fuck yeah. That would be awesome. Because like, to be able to see these different aspects of these deities, even like, again, I usually go with the Norse because that's what me and hubby tend to work with a lot. I'm kind of migrating slowly back more to just the Morrigan, but like, again, Odin, fantastic. Let's talk about it. Even other Celtic deities, like, let's go into more of the Irish. Let's go into the Welsh. Let's compare how they are actually kind of the same. It's like they're the same family, but they're cousins, or maybe siblings, but not the same, because they're like, there's so much overlap. And of course the ancestors kind of traded around deities a little bit, and our written history is like not great. But you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, reading this book, I wanted more for the modern context. Could you imagine reading a book like this for like Hecate right now in the world? That would be awesome. We need more of this. I'm so tired. And I feel like some of the deities have it a little bit less. There's some that are like Brigid, very modern, very like let's just roll with where we are now. And then you have some where they're like locked in so hard into just what the past has to say, mostly the Norse. If you branch out of that, they come out of the woodwork like little termites to destroy your life because they're like, oh my god, you're doing it wrong. You're like, oh my god, they could evolve. It's fine, you know? And yeah, so reading through this, I was just like, I want to read through my Morrigan books, but also I know that it's not going to have a whole lot of modernly looking at them and modernly looking at the Morrigan, because again, like, that's just not as much of a thing. It's a little bit, but again, also gets stuck into a little box. And Brigid doesn't really have a box. She can be associated to the moon, the sun, she can be associated to all of the seasons. Like, she has a lot of different areas of life, like creativity, devotional work, healer work, activism, like making stuff, whether it's writing or if you're like actually making something, like you're at the forge, literally. Modernly, that's probably just welding, but you know, you could still old school actual, I don't know, I guess, I don't know. Does that count as a forge? Because people still do use forges. I actually have a knife that my grandpa made me in his homemade forge because he got bored, that he just decided in his 80s that he was going to learn how to build and use a forge, and he did it, and I got a knife out of it before he died. And so, like, I don't know, but I feel like welding totally counts as your own equivalent of forging things because it's so cool. It's such a good skill. I don't know how to do that at all, and it takes a lot of equipment. But anyways, this book, I feel like it's so great for the Brigid devotees. If you're interested in working with Brigid, like, this is like the book that you need to get. There's other good ones out there, don't get me wrong, but this is like reigning top dog because it talks about everything, and it's got different people contributing, but as it should, just a little snippety snip, and then you go about your life. So good, well written. At the end, it has a little thingy of like something to do for the 19 days of tending her flame. So cool. I loved it. This is like one of the best books for modern pagans I have come across, and I've read a lot of books if you've looked at my channel, so it's always good when I can find some good ones. I would love to know your thoughts on this one, and if you have one that is like this but for the Morrigan, in the comments down below. I have read, I think, all of the Stephanie Woodfield ones. I think I've got Priestess of the Morrigan, her, I think she did the big green book, the big one on her, and then the only one that I really haven't read, I don't like Morgan with that last name that I never know how to pronounce. She's just so dry, I can't, and she's very academic anyways. So I think I've read at least one of hers. I think she has a couple on the Morrigan. I haven't really liked those. I like Stephanie Woodfield. And then also, like, I know there's the big old book called like The Great Queen, but it's expensive. And my library, and Interloan Library, does not have that. Unfortunately, the library sometimes does not have it all. Also, Courtney Weber has one on the Morrigan, and of course it's not available. That's the thing with the Morrigan. She loves to not be found. When she feels like you need to research, all of the books are available. When no, I swear she gets into the internet and just deletes everything. Because, like, honestly, she puts like the block on all words containing her name, anything associated, when she wants you to figure it out on your own. Because I've had that ever since I started working with her eons ago. She would just be like, no. Like, blogs that I knew existed just vanished. And then a few months later, I try again, like not really seriously looking. They're all there. They were still there. I've had it happen so many times, looking for her in books. They, again, just like spontaneously don't exist. And then later, I'll look it up and then, oh, they're there. So, I feel like the Morrigan likes to work in very mysterious ways like that. So if you have some books of hers that you would recommend, if you've read through The Great Queen, that big old book, I think it's like white with like some red on the cover. I haven't read it. If I remember right, it was an expensive book. Maybe it's come down in price because it's getting kind of older now, but I haven't read it. It's huge and it's gonna be expensive. I don't know, maybe at this point it's not gonna be big. Maybe it is the size of this one. I can't show you the front, but this one is Is it like this big? Because if it's only that big, I feel like I'm being a like baby about it. But also then it would be very expensive for a book. I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting back into the more again in my chaos ways of like very much branching her outside of her tiny little box that people like to put her in, and exploring different aspects of her that I did way back in the day that I'm picking back up. But I'll ramble about that more on Patreon, so if you want to check that out. Patreon. Also, thank you to my Patreon peeps for your support. If you would like to buy my books, they're always linked down below. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me. If you make it to the end, it actually does matter. It helps appease the algorithm gods, and it makes my life easy. It doesn't cost you anything to watch these videos. So honestly, out of all of my revenue avenues, I think this is the one that makes the most money so far. Like, I love my Patreon peeps. Truly, I love y'all. You have been fantastic. My numbers fluctuate substantially. I have a few loyal people, but like, you're under 5. So it's not gonna pay the bills. And my book sales are very hit or miss. It's already surpassed in like the week I have been doing YouTube monetized. I have surpassed the amount of money I made in book sales this month. That was a fast like whoop. So like, just watch my videos. That's all you have to do. This is the thing that helps the most. Is that weird? Yeah. Are ads annoying? Yeah. To be honest, get yourself YouTube Premium. I'm not sponsored by them. I just finally got it. I actually got my own account so I don't have to keep borrowing my mom's. And we just upgraded to the family plan. It's not that much more. And yeah, it's a game changer because now I just binge random channels that I never would because there'd be so many ads. And now I'm just watching hour-long videos running about my life, and I'm like, cool. Like, I got onto iNab or whatever his name is, and I'm currently watching about Nikocado Avocado, and it's wild because I was there when he was in the vegan community and he was leaving the vegan community, and it was quiet and then crazy and then back to quiet, and then it's just madness. And so I'm watching that, and it's like an hour of like the latest version of it. I think it's a couple months old now, but still watching through that, watching Mel Robbins. Like, YouTube Premium. Then just throw me in the background. Just be like, oh, I'm gonna watch this witch who just talks for a few minutes about books and then rambles for more than the book review about random crap at the end. That's, yeah. But you know what? That still counts. Those views still count, and then you don't have to deal with ads. And then you can watch other content that you like too, without ads. Dude, it is such a game changer. You just need to do it. It's amazing. And I love it so much. And then it helps the creators too. So yeah, anyways, is that the point? Absolutely not. But yeah, if you watch all of my videos and that's all you do, that still means the world to me. I love you. You are amazing. You are helping more than you know. Because again, it's just the little things. It adds up. Seriously. Like, I don't make a whole lot, but I have enough of a backlog that it's like, ooh, a couple pennies. And then guess what? Because I have like, I think like 1,000 videos. I don't know how many are public. I've been making videos since 2011. I have a lot, but I don't remember how many I've left public anymore. And I have deleted some, and anyways, I have a lot of videos. So like, inevitably, a couple pennies for all of these videos, it adds up. Is it $1,000 right now? Absolutely not. I still technically have made more on Patreon this month than YouTube, but we're getting there. More than book sales. So that's something, because I've sold 1 book this month. Granted, today's the 4th, so it's not like we're like chugging along, but, or is it even, yeah, it is the 4th. I was worried. I'm like, wait, is it still the 3rd? I don't even know what day it is anymore. This is what happens when you've been sick. You have no concept of time. Anyways, this was very rambly. Can you tell I'm starting to feel better? Because yeah, my last few days, like the past week, I've been like super sick and I ran out of all of my like pre-recordeds. So now I'm feeling better and it's like, ha la la. I'm just feeling weird and like realizing that like this is the one that's making me money. It's weird. It's a weird feeling that it's like gonna go buy a surrogate with YouTube money. That feels weird to say. And to like, I'm gonna go buy a house with YouTube money. That feels weird. It feels weirder to just say, I'm a YouTuber, but like, am I now? Am I a YouTuber? Probably. Also, when I go and file taxes, I'm still gonna put author. This is just one of my avenues to help with that. It's besides the point. But I'm not, I don't have enough from YouTube this year to even qualify to think about it. Well, no, I guess it would be for this year, 2025. Maybe. maybe this will be enough to file taxes. That would be cool. It's not sad that I'm excited to file taxes, because I am actually very excited to be able to file taxes. So anyways, thank you for listening to my rambles, and until next time, blessed be.